Welcome to another episode of Moffetttalks Mondays, man. And I'm your host, Nefi Moffett. And tonight, we have a very special show, man. This young man, I met him in high school. I was a teacher, he was a student. I met him. It was an instant bond. It was an instant connection. And he's been my little brother ever since. I want to introduce to some and remind others of who this is. This is Clint Bryant, aka Clint Outdoors, aka Clint the Slayer, aka Clint from Egali. And welcome to the show. All right, Clint, how you doing tonight, sir?
Doing good.
You nervous?
No.
Hey, I'm a little excited tonight, man. Like, I'm so excited for people to just get the inside look of Clint Outdoors, man. What do you want the people to know about
I'm as real as it get.
you? At the end of this interview, right, you're probably gonna get 10,000 more followers. And what you want them to know?
Don't give up.
Don't give up. And when that gets started, let's talk about it. All right, sir. So how old are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
24, from Egali, and most people don't even think probably already know. I'm a husband, father. I fish, I hunt. That's basically my circle.
All right, and so let's talk about that. 24 years old, you're married. How long have you been married? And you said when you met her, you knew she was the right one. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, we got married last year, October 25th.
October 25th, 2023. And when did you remember the date you met her?
The day I met her, no, I don't remember the day I met her. But I remember how I met her.
Tell us how you met her.
So I remember growing up, we grew up in the same area. So I used to always see her, but I never looked at her like that, ever. Till we got to high school, and I remember I seen her. I was like, dang, she looked good. She just always was to herself. You know, me, I was popular. So when I seen her, when all the other girls just, they flocked to you, she was just the one that just walked by, never really said anything. All those girls were just everywhere. And, I really locked on to her. And I remember I told myself, I said, one day I'm gonna get her. And me, I was never really the guy to inbox anybody. Just hit them up and, hey man, I like you. Never been that guy. And I remember, man, one day she just swiped up on my story. She was talking about oxtails. I was like, she don't want no damn oxtails. And then from there on, we just went to texting. And when we first met up and had a full conversation, she was telling me the things that she wanted in life and the things that she'd been through. I've been through a lot of things too. And, at the time, I had a lot of money. And she didn't look at my money as it was a plus. She never asked me for anything, even though I tried to give her everything. She never asked me for nothing. And when she didn't ask me for nothing, that basically made me want to give her everything. So, I broke down to her. I told her about situations that I've been through, and I just said, man, we can make it work, and we've been making it work. So I'm about to be 4. We met 2018.
And listen, I remember we out there fishing, getting ate up by mosquitoes, and she just sitting there looking pretty, waiting on you. Can I reel it in? You done taught her how to fish, and now she to your side, man. That's to the youngins your age, right? 24. I got you by 12, 13 years. Your age group, how would you tell them to pick out a woman?
I don't know. It's kind of tough. You can tell anybody on how to choose somebody, but most people don't listen. Most people my age go about their appearance. They see somebody look fine, but I've learned that people that look the best don't always have your best interest. So I've been lucky that my wife not ugly and she has a great soul. So I really got lucky, honestly. But to find the right person, I don't know, because everybody like different things. Like things that I might like, you might not like. So that's tough.
So with your wife, do y'all like the same things?
Somewhat. We like the same kind of music. We like the same kind of food. Except for I don't eat sushi. I don't mess with that stuff.
The fishermen that don't eat sushi.
No, I like stuff cooked. I ain't with that.
Gotcha.
Basically, we like the same things except for I fish and I hunt. I mean, she will fish if they bite. She like fishing for mangroves and stuff like that. Something that's consistently eating. But we basically like the same things, from the music to the food to sleep, and then we both have the same interest for our son. So that's the main part. So I know if something ever happened to me, like my son would be all right. And that right there alone just make me not want to do anything. Just stay home. Don't step out. Just stay with what I got. 5 minutes of fun, 15 minutes of fun ain't worth my home. That's just the way I always think about it.
All right, and so you said you're 24, and I ain't gonna say this is a city, but this is like a suburban area. So when did you learn to fish and hunt, and how did you start doing it?
My granddad.
So you're an old soul.
Yeah.
Okay, so Clint, you're old soul. So were you raised by your granddad?
Pretty much. My granddad taught me most of everything I know.
Okay, so you feel like that is what got you into what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I do see a lot of fishing, right? I don't know how much you want to share, but I remember one day, we were talking, and you used to have to fish to eat.
Yeah.
And that was the only way you could eat. And now you're getting paid, you're getting sponsored to fish. Can you tell us about that transition in your life?
Man, that was tough. But I'm grateful for all that stuff. I just remember just waking up some days and nothing was in there. And my mom, she didn't eat fish. She only eat tilapia. Well, that is fish, but it ain't good. So when you wake up and you see there ain't nothing in there, gotta make it happen. Look in there, you see a few slices of bread. Shoot, man, you just gotta go out there. I used to go fishing with like 4 slices of bread, come home with a bucket full of fish. Or go fishing with no bait, come home with a cooler full of fish. And as I got older, and I just started getting introduced to different people. And they start seeing me and they start taking me places. And from there on, I found out that it's a way out. So once I find out that it's a way out, that's basically what I started doing. I remember sitting there talking to my wife, and this was years ago. This was before my son. And I was telling her, man, I was like, one day it'd be cool to be sponsored by Van Stahl, or like to have a company that sponsor me for rods and line and leader and stuff like that. And I didn't start getting paid like a lot of money. So I just remember like last year, I got sponsored by Van Stahl. I got sponsored by American Taco for rods. Then I just got sponsored by Yuziri. Then I got sponsored by Thumper Shrimp. So it's all those companies, and I sit back and I'm like, damn, 5 years ago, I just remember like it was nothing. I didn't have nothing. And then like now, everything that I dreamed of, I have it. Just I'm not at the top yet.
You ready? All right, so Clint. So what was your journey like from high school to now? How did you get here?
Faith, man. It was tough. It was tough. My ride was a lot different from a lot of kids. I felt like growing up and going through high school, I had to fend for myself. And you know, honestly, like you was a big part of that. You know, I didn't really have anybody to talk to. You know, if I had problems, I had certain things in my life that happened. You know, I'd call you, or I ask you questions about a lot of things, a lot of touchy subjects, a lot of subjects that I can't really tell anybody else. And you know, when I had all that money, and my wife got pregnant, and we went through that little fraudulent thing where the PNC Bank they took all my money. So I guess somebody tried to do fraud on my account and they took all that money out of my account. And, you know, I really needed that at the time. You know, I was broken for a while. But you know, between just talking to you and having you help, and just my wife talking to me about not giving up, you know, that really helped a lot. But my journey was tough.
Talked about the PNC, and I know how much money you lost. I don't know if you want to talk about it in that, but how did you overcome from losing all of that money to being in front of this camera today?
I'm not gonna lie, man. Overcoming all that, it was mainly my wife. You know, having a kid at my age and having that much money get taken away, you know, I really needed it. And you know, my wife always knew that I was a hustler. She always knew that if it was something that needed to be done, that she could always rely on me to do it. And you know, just me being down and out, you know, it's easy. It's easy to do the wrong thing. It's easy. It's hard as hell to do the right thing. Especially coming from where I come from, it's easy to get in trouble. You know, when you're trying to do the right thing, you want to set an example for your son. You know, it's tough. You know, she was with me every step of the way, telling me that I can do it. Basically, don't give up. We have a son. We gonna figure it out. We got this. She never said you or I. It was always we. You know, from there on, I just knew that I had someone that was real. And that alone right there just made me go hard. From getting money for diapers to paying for the whole baby shower myself, every dollar. You know, that took a lot. Especially me being young as hell, having to pay for all that stuff by myself. But I made it happen. This dually classroom. I remember the class before that, it was Coach Burt, and we used to all go out there and play 7-on-7 like the whole time. I remember I got back from there, class was about to start, and I remember you stopped me. When everybody went to the classroom, you was like, why are you not playing football? And I told you my grades. My grades was bad because I wasn't really going to school. You know, once I started getting back on track, you know, it was kind of late. I was too far behind to catch up.
And I'm gonna say it right. There's a counselor that introduced us. What would you tell the kids about talking to their counselors who may be in similar situations and they're not in school because they have to take care of their family? what made you comfortable enough to talk to a counselor to get the necessary help that you needed?
My counselor actually cared. Like she really cared. She wasn't just there for just to be my school counselor. She really genuinely cared about what was going on in my life. And I remember I wanted to visit my dad like real bad. And I remember she made all that happen. She went on the computer. She went to looking like visitation things. She got the visitation form. She got everything, and I got approved, like all from her. So with her doing that, that really locked it in because I felt like I could trust her.
And when you said visit your dad, what do you mean by that?
Well, at the time, my dad was in prison, and I really, I love my dad a lot, and I really wanted to see him. I haven't seen him in a while, so I was getting ready to graduate, so I felt like I don't know, I'm becoming a man now. There's some questions that I wanted to ask him that you really can't ask anybody else. It's like basically you just want to hear from your dad.
And she made that happen. Shout out to that counselor. Look, hey, there's some counselors out there that actually care about your students. Hey, listen, give them a chance. You don't have to take their word at face value. Give them a chance because you never know what'll happen if you allow someone that chance. So we talked about you're 24. How old is your wife?
22.
So being young and married, right? I can remember being young and married, and I had some wild stories, man. Hey, some wild stories are unbelievable. To see who I am today, to look at some of the stories that I had early in my marriage, it's just two completely different people. So now going through this thing in a positive manner, in a good light, what are some of the secrets or some of your tips that you have? Because you got to know something.
To being young and married,
Yeah.
my number one rule is don't take advice for people who can't stay married, who has never been married, people who don't have any dreams of getting married. Stay away from miserable people, because most women or most friends that can't keep a man always try to give your partner advice. So you can't give advice like that. When you have a partner, it's y'all two. Y'all two are the staples. Outside negativity like that can mess up a marriage. When you got something real, and that person know that. Even though your wife has a strong mind, you still can't let friends like that. Friends that say negative stuff like that. You can't allow your wife to be around people like that. It's like if my wife come in there and fold my clothes, some women would be like, or some friends, I shouldn't say women, but some friends would be like, why are you folding his clothes? That shouldn't even be a question. Maybe she loved her man that much to do it. People like that, just miserable. Gotta stay away from them people, and that go for men too. Choosing friends that's really important.
So behind the camera, right? This is my roommate in college. Now we met. Yeah, I don't know if he was a teenager. I was like 18. Yeah, so he was a teenager too. Maintaining healthy relationships is imperative. That's almost over 15 years later. I would say that when you surround yourself with good people, stay connected. We don't talk every day. But when we talk, we can catch up. You got to make sure that you have access to people for whatever. Sometimes I just call and hey, but hey, they know I just need to get it off my chest. I might not be dead serious, but if I don't get it off my chest, I'm gonna be dead serious. So hey, they let them talk, let me talk, let me get on, and then they ask questions. Hey, yeah, it makes sense, man. This. But it's never like, I'm never challenged to have to be somebody else around the people who I'm with. Like, I'm myself, and I think I do a very good job of selecting people around me where I can be myself. And it seems like you're on a good job with that too. Last thing, I ain't gonna say last thing. I'm gonna edit that out. Is it anything you like your mother or father to know?
My mom and my dad. My father, I'm proud of him. My dad, growing up, a lot of people try to put things in my head to make me hate my dad. My dad's always been real. He's always been solid. He's never been fake about nothing. And when he's around me, we always have a great time. And my dad put the kids first. Some of my siblings don't understand that, but my dad had a hard life too. Of course he chose the wrong path at first, but shit, he doing a damn good job. I never fault my dad for doing anything, for going to jail, going to prison, or anything like that, because when he was here, you couldn't ask for a better dad. And he did what he did, but one thing I can say is when he's here, he take care of what's his. And there is no shorts, there is nothing. There is no questions, he's there. And I really appreciated that with my dad. I can still call him to this day, and it's like nothing ever happened. My dad get up and go to work every day. He work hard. You can't really ask for anything better. Sometimes I wish he was there more, just growing up, but shit, here now. You can't really fault the man for things that happened in the past, because holding on to the past, you're never gonna be able to better the future. So I just let it go. It's nothing to really talk about anyway. Shit, he wrote me every day, or not every day, but he wrote me a lot. Talked on the phone. So and he still gave me advice over the phone. So it was just like he was still there. So I don't fault my dad for nothing. He real, and that's all I could ever ask for. My mom, she did the best she could. I always give my mom her flowers, even on the bad days. Sometimes she pissed me off, but I think everybody mom pissed them off sometimes. But my mom, she make it happen. For sure. I don't know how she make it happen, but she make it happen. From nothing. And, some certain times we didn't have nothing, and my mom made a way on her own with no help. From us having our own place to everybody living with us, and then from my mom actually like going through a rough time where she needed somebody and nobody was there. And, me, I had my wife, and my mom could always come home to my home. Shit, that's mama. You only get one of them. She made a way for us, so shit, I'm like, I can't ever let my mom just go down like that. It was just messed up seeing everybody turn their back on her. But she found a way now. She always do. She got her own place. She good now. I always give my mama her flowers. Always.
So let's talk about high school. You particularly said about graduating high school for your son. What was your experience in graduating high school, completing high school? And tell us a little bit about that and why you're 6'2", look like Devontae Smith type player, and you're not on the football field.
Well, yeah, like I said previously in the video, I had to do certain things to help out my mom, like selling fish, cutting grass. Man, I did everything under the sun. And you keep doing that. You do it day in, day out. You're missing school because you got to. You got to pay the bills. You gotta help out. And, I used to just go to those football games, man. I'd be crying out there in the sideline because I knew I could have went somewhere Division I, somewhere. But everybody, maybe that just wasn't my story. Maybe it'll be my son's story. Maybe he won't have to go through he won't, but he won't have to go through what I went through, but this probably wasn't my story.
Want to cut? Oh, you ready?
Oh shit.
All right, now we got little LB, right? I need you to take this journey with me. You and your father have the same name.
Yeah.
When you were 10, 11 years old, what message did you need to hear then? And I want you to deliver all those little kids who see themselves in you. I want you to deliver that message to them.
11-year-old me, the message I needed to hear was to never give up. Never let your surroundings determine your life. Never let people determine your life. And that goes for mom, that goes dad, brother, sister, cousin. Because your life is your life. Once you grow up and you on your own, man, it's gonna be all on you. Mama and daddy not gonna be able to hold your hand no more. And I would definitely never give up. Is everybody in the world know that, but it's real to never give up. 'Cause my granddad always tell me, you never fail in life. You will never fail in life if you don't give up. So once you give up, that's when you fail. And, I done been through a lot where I thought about giving up and I didn't, and I did something else, and that was the breakthrough. So I always listen to this song about Mook Boy. He just say never give up because that next swing could be your home run, and that's a real saying because I've been in a lot of times where I wanted to give up. A lot of times where my wife thought everything was going good, and it was in her eyes, but me behind the scenes, it was like I did things that were hard. To cover up everything, to make everybody in the house happy. And it wasn't even about money, it wasn't about anything, it was just about certain battles on becoming a man. Some questions, man, you just can't ask people. It's just some things you just gotta go through. So just all the kids that's 11 years old, man. Well, most people try to tell you some things, man. You gotta listen. I don't know how to say it.
You just say it how you would say it any other way.
I would just say, be slow to speak and fast to listen. Even if you know it, you just never just tell somebody that you know it. Actually, listen, pay attention, and that goes with anything in life. You might think you know everything, but you don't. Some people might tell you some things that you might know, but if you just sit there and just listen and not talk, they might throw something in there that might help you. And then you put that in your bag, and then you can just perfect your craft that way. And your craft could be anything from fishing to basketball to track to being a motivational speaker to just anything in life. Just always listen and always be aware of your surroundings. Be nice to everybody because you never know who's in the room. One of my sponsors, I remember I was pissed off one day, me not knowing this man from a can of paint. I could have easily went off one day and I could have messed everything up. I talked to him, and I remember I looked at his face and I'm like, dang, man, that was the same dude from here. And then he told me he seen me that night, but I didn't react how I wanted to, so that could have just jeopardized my whole future. So, you know, just, I don't know, for all the kids out there, I would just say never give up and, you know, live your life. Don't let nobody crush your dreams.